Okay, guys. Hello and welcome back. As you can see, I basically just got out of bed. I think I now know what's going on here with my microphone constantly being the wrong settings, because it's on full blast here, so sometimes I guess Audacity, if I close this before I close this, these settings here will be saved instead of these. Because the thing is, Audacity does actually save the global settings for the mic. And when I reduce the audio levels here, it will it will reduce the audio levels across the board in my entire system. So that could be a thing. Because that happened to me before. When I was still using the Yeti for my gaming streams and recordings and stuff. Yeah, I'm not 100% awake yet. But as you can already see, today we are going to have a very long video. We have Fallout Equestria Heroes. This will be a killer, okay? Just so you know, rendering this, I will do that on my gaming PC, because even for these smaller ones, the last one that I released, like the History of Thunder City, that was only like half an hour long. My laptop here still needed about 1.5 hours just to render that. The other ones that were a little bit longer, like 50 minutes, an hour, that laptop took about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to render that. And in the time that it's doing that, I can't do anything else with it. Boy, my poor belly. Anyhow. Do I have... No, I don't. Fuck this, I'll start. See you at the other end, every pony. Okay. What the actual fuck? Long chapter. Well, this is actually one of the shorter ones. As you can see here, it has only 14,000 words. Next one is 17,000 and 20,000. Ah, the problem is right now, I know you guys didn't hear that because it was still in the fast forward thingy, but right now I'm actually pretty cold because the heating in my apartment seems not to be working right. I've got the radiator set on full and literally I have 17 degrees in here. The air is dry as fuck. And my throat is killing me right now. Also, you will see something here that currently is like the modus operandi basically with these heroes chapters, because I've talked to my patrons and asked them, hey guys, do you want me to finish heroes faster? Like get it done and then record and then edit it? Or would you prefer like the slower pace that we have been going so far? And people wanted it faster. Also would have been, it also is a bit easier for me because then I can record everything in one go and then later on just edit bit by bit, you know? Otherwise, now after this recording session, which you can already see, just the recording of all of this took over 2 hours. And now I would have to edit this, which can take up to 5 hours. Just the cleaning would very likely take 2 or 3 hours. The sound design in itself, okay, maybe more 7 hours for this one. So creating these audiobooks is actually a lot of work. More work than a lot of people give us credit for. Which is also another reason why I found it very, very aggravating when another YouTuber once told me that us narrators, us story creators, like audiobook creators, we aren't real content creators. And I'm like, what's that? I won't name names, but the person knows who I'm talking about. And everyone who was in that chat back in the day knows who I'm talking about. Anyhow, the way that it works with these chapters, because as I said, I will not edit it right now. I will now load it in. Just so that it is, like the audio levels are, I won't even like adjust the audio levels. I'll just make it so that the stereo sound is actually okay and doesn't sound completely hollow. Like we do all the time. See, so that everything is the same here. And remove the background noise that my microphone produces. By the way, this, on the old PC that I did this on, this step alone could take up to 10 minutes. Actually, let me pull up my task manager here. Here you can actually see this is actually an i7 CPU. 4th generation, so it's 6 years old. But an i7 CPU with 8 threads, 4 cores, 4 physical cores. So that's really, really good. Like 16 gigs of RAM and everything. And the CPU, you can see here, only is tasked to a little bit over 40% with truncating or reducing the, not truncating silence, reducing the noise, the background noise. The old PC that I have in the other room now is a multimedia PC. That sprang up to 100% CPU usage when I did this. So I'm really glad that I got this laptop back. Had given it to my dad for a while, because like actually we traded laptops. Like he wanted one with an i7 CPU, and he had bought one with an i5, and then he was like, hey, can't we like trade in, because you're not using yours that much? And he kept bugging me for months. And eventually I gave in and was like, okay, you know what? Let's do this. And then I took his laptop, which is an Acer Nitro model. This is an MSI gaming laptop from the Steel series, one of their Dragon series. And I'm like, okay, come on, let's trade. And seriously, that Acer Nitro was the worst decision ever. Like, I don't know what my dad did to that machine, but quite honestly, it was unusable. It had an i5 of the 6th generation, that much I remember, 24 gigs of RAM and a 4 gigabytes graphics card, which was a 2050 Ti. No, not 2050, 1050 Ti. And just streaming the video output of my PS3 brought the CPU and GPU usage on that thing to 100%. So I ran a fucking long USB cable from the other room to this room so my gaming PC could do my PS3 streams. And only used the laptop to watch my Twitch chat. But even that taxed the CPU at times to 100%. I'm not fucking kidding. It would like max out. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Because it was maxing out so hard. The coolers would ramp up, the fans would like go to maximum. You couldn't touch the keyboard anymore because it was so hot. You know? And since the casing was made of metal, you couldn't put your hands down on it. You would not quite burn yourself, but it would be very uncomfortably warm. And then I at one point had I installed Afterburner because I wanted to see how hot it actually gets. And I literally had the machine on idle. The only thing running was MSI Afterburner and the task manager. And after about 5 minutes, the fans ramped up suddenly and the CPU jumped to astronomical heights. Like 100%, then the GPU jumped to 100%, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I don't know what was the matter with that machine. I really don't, because usually I'd say, okay, that thing is called a virus. You've got to like flatten it and, you know, be done with it. When I got it, it didn't have a hard drive, so I put in a fresh hard drive, like one that I had just bought, and installed fresh Windows 10. And no matter how often I did that, it always behaved like that. My dad is running the machine under Linux, and it seems to work fine. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what he did to it. But if you put Windows on it, it will derp out. I even tried with Pop OS, which is a Linux distro, and it behaved the same. So I don't know what was going on there. Okay, let's close this. Let's get over here. Posts, new. Audio. Let's select music for the not Project Horizons, Pony&Wolf. Edit MP3, and there is chapter 17, and then we need the artwork, which is in here. And if you asking yourself what this means, what I'm putting down here is like the R stands for recorded, the E stands for edited, and the C for cleaned. Okay. And the plan basically is that once I have all of Heroes recorded, I'll go through it and edit the chapters one by one. Hashtag MLP, hashtag MLP Film, hashtag faux, hashtag Fallout, hashtag fanfiction, hashtag audiobook, hashtag brony. Okay, and tweet this out. And with that, I really have to pee, guys. So I'm ending this here. I don't want to piss myself. Love you all, and I hope that you enjoyed this.